There are 3 pretty unique shapes that you can transform into in Elden Ring's DLC. You'll find an item in the cave that transforms you into a creature, where you can enlarge its head and ram enemies. In that cave is also a head that you can use as a torch. It also has the ability to blind their opponents from pure comedy. The other 2 forms you can take on are dragons. One that will boost dragon communion spells, and the other will boost dragon cult incantations. You'll find one from a hidden painting that will lead you to a cliff top, and the other for beating a really easy dragon. Starting at the Dragon's Pit Terminus, which you can access from the castle front site of Grace, heading south from there till you reach Dragon's Pit, which will then lead you through to Terminus. There will be a dragon in the center here that you can take on. You can easily just pass him up though if you want and hang a right. I forgot what he rewards you with, but it's nothing that great. I think it's a ancient dragon smithing stone, but it's not the somber one. I've killed 2 ghost flame dragons so far, and they always seem to reward you with a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. And I know I've seen at least one other, so if you need some of those, they're pretty easy to cheese with some magic. Eventually you'll make it to the Dragon Communion Altar, where you should talk to the Priestess and accept her blessing, which will give you a bonus to all damage negation. I heard you can also give her a potion that you would get from another NPC, but I lost that option because I burned the seal without even thinking twice about it, not knowing it would prevent certain quests. So you definitely want to make sure that you do all of these side quests before you burn the seal. So basically here you'll just face a bunch of pot creatures and souls in this large room, which can be kind of confusing since it leads around in circles. You can drop down here in this hole, which is filled with some giant rats. Behind one of those giant rats you'll find the Clarifying Horn Charm +2. That increases focus, and focus is a stat that raises resistance to madness and sleep. Head back up the ladder and then go up the stairs this time. I believe there's a collapsible floor here that I already broke. This room has a hidden wall that has a gate behind it. You just want to dodge or attack it to reveal it. The key is located up here, and you just want to be careful for these cracks along the way back. Don't forget to grab the hefty pot that the little guys are worshipping up top, and that's used for crafting some pretty huge pop bombs. Now you want to go back to where the door was locked behind the invisible wall. Unlock the second door with the key, and just be careful if you're not using the ladder here, as it is a pretty far drop. I would break down the boss's moves here, but, you know, Wizard's got no time for that. Before going to get the 2 dragon forms, you should stop by here and talk to Igon. He's pretty hard to miss though, as he's on the path and screaming out in pain. He's been cursed by the dragon, and this is part of his quest, which he does help out a lot in the final dragon fight. Heading back to Dragon's Pit Terminus, but this time heading northwest. Or you could go from Dragon's Communion and just hang it right, but I think this is a little bit faster. Then you want to head to the foot of the Jagged Peak, arriving at Jagged Peak Mountainside. This is the way to Bayle, which is a little bit further up ahead. But the painting, you have to go and drop down here, which you can easily miss. You'll see a spirit that's just sitting here in the chair, and eventually he'll vanish and he leaves behind the rock heart. And the rock heart is the one that boosts the dragon communion spells. Prior to this spot, there are 2 dragons that are fighting. You want to make sure to take them out. I just let one kill the other, focusing on the stronger one eventually. Once you defeat the dragons, then Igon will appear, and then he gives you his summoning finger to help out with Bayle. Initially, I couldn't find his summoning portal since it's inside the boss arena, unlike most which are outside. So I ended up fighting the dragon about 4 or 5 times, which is a pretty epic but pretty hard fight without Igon. But as soon as I found his summoning portal, I easily won that fight, as he does draw a lot of the aggro from the boss.
What a sight! A warrior true, if ever one there was. A fellow Drake warrior. Egon. Piteous Egon. Do you not remember? Conjure your past, how once you were. Summon me. Summon my soul. But a Drake warrior I remain. And my soul yet lies on the mountain.
This is definitely one of the most epic boss fights in the game. He's hard to hit with melee, as he's always flying around. It helps to use ranged attacks for him, as you can only target his head. So in order to use any of these forms, you do have to unequip all of your armor. And the only way to revert them is to die, which is pretty easy to do, just jump over a cliff. I do believe that you get a plus 10% bonus to all forms of damage negation though. So I think you do need to have the dragon painting from Shadowkeep in order to get the rock heart, which I have a whole guide for that with the timestamp just for that specific painting. I'll post a link in the description below for that. To summon Egon, his sign is just inside the boss's portal. He's just a few steps ahead and a little bit to the left. Summoning him will help out a lot in the fight, as he'll end up keeping Bayle's attention, way more than your summon will, and he's more durable. I mean, he outlasted Dung Eater, which is pretty damn tanky. I was going for the faster cast talismans and staffs for a faster cast Loretta's bow, since it's so damn slow. But the better talismans, I think, are the Flame Drake +3 and the Bolt Drake +3. And just slapping on the highest fire resistant armor you have. With a pretty high dexterity of 60, I didn't even notice any difference in the cast times. I hope this helps you out. Take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one.